Okay, the third quarter about to start in the Foster's Cup match, the first for the season, and the Bulldogs leading at half-time. Mark Lee gets the tap out, but Hawkins chips in pretty well for Footscray and puts the Bulldogs into attack up over that 50 metre line. Colin crashed as he went to ground, got the hand pass away. Terry Wallace, quick kick, only covers a matter of 16 or 17 metres. Mark taken by Waitman. Waitman kicks it wide. Smith has the ball on half-back flank for Richmond. The high kick by Craig Smith up towards centre wing. Egan can't mark. Eppelston is in there. He just sort of barrels the ball towards Hogg. Hogg's tackled well. The ball finishes up out wide now with Hunter. Hunter's kick across his body goes up towards the 50 metre line. At the back, Colin tries a little bit of tap-on stuff, which was a little fancy. The kick off the ground by the Richmond defence goes towards half-back. Hawkins, a little chip pass is great. And the mark taken by Terry Wallace, who has already kicked one goal, which was a tremendous kick from closer to the boundary line than this one, but Don, very similar in distance, wasn't it? Yes.
Will he make the distance?
Good question. Very professional footballer is Terry Wallace. This time, though, the ball, perhaps he didn't hold it well enough down to his foot, and it slews off the side of his boot in through for a behind. 1-3 now to Terry Wallace in that Footscray scoreline of 4-10, and Lees kicks it into the back pocket. The mark is taken by Knights.
Knights from the back pocket up to half-back flank, and that kick straight out of bounds, and we'll have a throw-in. Well, can they keep up the pace of the first half? Pretty warm night. At 28 degrees it was today. Expected top 31 tomorrow. Carnival time on the outer side. Plenty of Footscray supporters. I reckon the crowd may be about 10,000. Hand pass comes out from Hawkins to Wallace. His kick slews off the side of the boot again. Out of bounds in the forward pocket. Boundary umpire being kept busy.
Just one thing, Don, there is, do you think it's an advantage for a player like Wallace there to go for a short pass into the pocket rather than popping it? The good sides pop it over the top to kick it to the front of the square.
But if you look quickly, Ian, there was nobody. Campbell was out leading. He would have kicked it to an empty goal square, and players are attracted to movement, and players were moving. So he tried to direct the ball, just didn't come on.
Well, at Hawthorn you used to be able to do that and back it in that there'd be somebody there. Maybe that's the difference. Lambert near the centre of the ground, held when he didn't have it. Quickly gets up, takes the free kick. Good running by Thompson. He's got Mitchell going past, but he went for a kick. Mitchell's after this like a Commonwealth Games sprinter. Down goes James, and a great tackle from Foster. Thompson again. Backwards he goes with the hand pass. Put his teammate under a bit of pressure there, Hamilton. Hamilton, the kick inside 50. They set themselves, no mark. Eppelston's back there from the wing to hand pass to Hunter, and Footscray can clear towards the outer side. Mark Hunter. Got plenty of space here from Coleman. Glenn Coleman dashing up the ground with a bounce. He tries to get through two of them. He's caught by the second. Crowd yells ball, but not paid. Comes to Colin approaches 50. McGuinness on the 50. A left footer from a long way out. Another magnificent kick, but just offline.
Well, there was some good play down on that outer wing by the Bulldogs. Young Colin doing pretty well to get it onto McGuinness, and he nearly capped it off with a fantastic goal. Lees now kicked the ball back into play for Richmond, goes pretty well straight up the ground. 1-on-2, but that one was Nixon for the Tigers, and he takes the mark at centre half back. Plays on quickly, player out wide on his own as Lee plays on. Can he get past? Good effort by Cullen, but Lee gets the hand pass away to Knights. Knights has done very well for his side. The left foot kick by Knights is offline, but Foster's there, drops a sitter. Mitchell, cornered by Eppelston and Foster. At the back there, the Richmond player, Stockdale, couldn't break away. And the umpire will come in and bounce. Just outside 50 metres for the Tigers. And they really need a goal here to give them some sort of impetus at the start of this third term. Chance for Lambert close to the line. Boundary umpire decides that it's been bundled over. So we'll have a throw in about 55, maybe a little closer to 60 metres from the Richmond goal. And Stockdale there in the picture, the youngster for Richmond doing the ruck work. In front was Cousins. Ball comes down to the front, and fumbling it there was James. Couldn't control it. We'll have another boundary throw in.
Well, Both sides haven't made too many changes. Frangalis is on for Richmond, also Hamilton coming back on for his second run, but Footscray obviously very pleased with the way they went in the first half, because not too many changes, well, no changes at all in that side.
Stockdale gets a boot to it somehow. There he is again after it, trying to paddle to Lambert, who applies the tackle, but it's in the back, and it'll be a Richmond Footscray free kick to Cousins. Lambert not happy with that decision, having plenty to say. There's the hand pass from the free kick across to Kolonyuk, and across the ground to find space coming out of defence. Tsatsaris, now he centres towards the centre circle. Well, Atkins was outnumbered about 3-1. Comes behind to Lee. His hand pass to Frangalis. Back to Mark Lee. Zigzag by Richmond. They're in trouble. They'll lose it here. Wallace blocks that hand pass beautifully, but it's tapped up the ground to Thompson again. He goes wide with his hand pass. Honeybun had to wait for it. Pops the kick very, very wide. Smith there. Gains a few metres and finds the boundary line down towards the forward pocket.
Gee, they missed around a lot in that centre, didn't they? When you thought that they may have lost it. Well, maybe it's inexperience. The Tigers got a lot of young players with probably less than 20 games to their credit. Individually, Honeybun and Cousins. Gather by Hogg. Good play. Touches it on the ground, or did he? Now he gets his kick away. Over the wing. No one home. Mark Lee. Safe mark there by the big fellow. Kicks the Tigers back into attack. Oh, the high flyer was Egan. Couldn't hold it. Play by Hogg, but the free kick is given to Hogg over the shoulder.
I believe that's a free kick when they don't take the mark, Ian.
Yes, fair comment. Matthew Hogg now. Little chip kick out wide. Foster takes the mark. Foster's got a player out wide. Kicks it to his advantage, perhaps a little too high. Tidying up was Pym. Off to Smith. Good player for Richmond is Craig Smith. Short kick. Intercepting well was Peter Foster, and he takes the mark for Footscray. The hand pass goes off to Eccleston. It just slips through his fingers, but he's able to recover and kicks the ball back in towards the centre. The high kick. Coleman can't mark. At the back, the Tigers have the numbers. Opportunity for Thompson. Tries to get it to Lambert. Lambert somehow gets through. Hand pass to Knights. What a great player he's been. Now Wakeman, the acting captain for this evening. Wakeman's high kick towards full forward, and it's punched through by Tatsaris for a rush behind to the Tigers. Dale Wakeman, the scoreboard to Footscray's advantage by 8 points.
Tatsaris to kick in. Neither team, I can be honest, really has a great attack. Both relying pretty heavily on defence, trying to work on it for this year. Wigney a good mark. Out to Hawkins, who's been a prominent player and a classy player. Cullen backs himself, loses. Coleman backs him up. Kick by Coleman, blind on the turn up towards half forward. Nixon. Cullen keeps it in for Terry Wallace. Good hand pass. O'Keefe over the top. That was partly blocked, but it finds Cullen. In he goes to Atkins. Atkins, a real handballing specialist. Don't know whether it was required there. To Wallace. Kick and hope by Terry Wallace. Pym for Richmond. Mitchell back on the back line. He's got Mark Lee up the ground. Is it too high for him? Yes, it is. Met by Hogg at 100 miles an hour. Matthew Hogg, well played. Wide to Eccleston. He's a long way away from Mitchell, or Mitchell a long way from him. Eccleston centres. O'Keefe's there. Oh, he touched it away from Campbell. Well, both teams seem to muck it up when they get on the forward line. Here's Lees for Richmond.
Lees kick high out towards centre wing. Punched away by Steve Wallace. Eccleston and Mitchell. Mitchell swoops on it. Tries to tap it to the advantage of Nichols. Nichols on hands and knees and takes it over for a boundary throw-in. You're kidding. The umpires awarded a free kick against him.
Well, he had the opportunity to keep it in play, Ian, and he didn't bother.
He was on his hands and knees. Gee whiz, I can't believe that. Anyway, the ball now at centre half forward for Footscray. Terry Wallace struggling. Gets the hand pass out to Coleman. Coleman ducking and weaving. Now the hand pass high. Kolonyuk, Campbell, Lambert, what a player he's been. On the 50-metre line, Craig Lambert can't break clear. Craig Smith gets it to Frangalis. Frangalis is hemmed in, but somehow he gets the kick away. Out wide towards half-back. Now here's Nichols. Can he make amends for that effort a few minutes ago? Back onto the left foot goes Nichols and spins his way out of trouble. Now the hand pass over the top to Lees. He gets the hand pass to Knights. Couple of neat little left footers in this Richmond side. Ryan at centre half back. Kicks a long high bomb out towards centre wing. Egan from behind Wigney, the shorter man, takes a great mark. Egan gets the hand pass away. Here's a chance now for Smith. Smith goes direct towards full forward. No one home. Opportunity now. The Bulldogs struggling hard at full back as the free kick has been awarded there to Nigel Kellett. Kellett, one of the interchange players. The kick goes off the side of his boot. But Brunner, who's just come off the interchange bench, takes the mark for Footscray at half-back. He plays on quickly. Kicks it up towards centre wing. Overrunning it is Coleman. Coming in and reading it pretty well is Atkins. Atkins at half-forward for Footscray. The pass into the pocket. Goes through the two players there, Lees and Campbell. Campbell gets his foot to the ball, kicks it out of bounds on the full. And the free kick will be taken by Lees for the Tigers.
It's good positioning by Campbell on that occasion and good harassment on Lees to butter up. It's a terrific battle between those two players.
Well, we haven't had a goal in the third quarter as yet. It's real tight defensive stuff, but great endeavour by both teams. Lambert gets it back from Knights. Kick over centre wing. Wigney. Penetrating kick by Wigney in open spaces. Frangalis charges onto it, the ex-Swan. Long, straight up the centre of the ground. Inside half forward, the kick. Oh, it's in the back to Honeybun.
Fair enough.
He's right on the 50-metre line. Didn't even look. On the turn, he pops it to the goal square. James is there, all over his opponent. Free kick to Tatsaris. Well, once Honeybun had that free kick, he really didn't do much for the side, did he?
No, I thought that was a poor effort by Honeybun. Just kicking it high towards full forward with no real thought. Tatsaris in the back pocket to take the free kick for the Bulldogs. Kicks it out towards half-back. Honeybun's there again. Mitchell looking for the free kick, but does it pretty well on his own. Round onto that right foot. Kick towards full forward to the advantage of James. And a great mark, but it was a terrific pass by Mitchell.
My word, he showed a little bit of class there. He got away. He's been out of touch, which is understandable, but he showed his little bit of class then. We'll see that quickly on replay, and Footscray have made a change with Kellett coming on for his run under the half-forward line and Cullen going off.
James from 35. Oh, bad kick by Stephen James. Misses to the left, and Richmond could have done with a goal there. Stephen James' personal tally is 2 behinds, and the Tigers trail by 7 points.
I know it's early stages, the game's not over, but you just sense that Footscray just a little bit more composed than Richmond are at this stage.
This quarter so far, both teams have kicked 2 behinds. McGuinness up to centre wing, too long for Wigney. Terry Wallace is at the back. He's got Wigney, Eccleston going past. Short pass off the left boot is good, and the mark is taken by Brunner. Puts it out in front of O'Keefe. Clever. O'Keefe now got to keep it in. Oh, he's met solidly, and that'll be a boundary throw in.
Again, a good contest between those two, Nixon and O'Keefe.
Well, everybody's talked about the Footscray fans who are going to get here tonight, but Richmond have got plenty themselves too. Coleman wins the tap. Nixon. There's Brunner. Did well. Pops it high towards the goal square. Campbell from behind. Flies but can't mark. Thompson just keeps it in. Goes out to Ryan. Well, the ball's bouncing between the respective full forward lines, and nobody can score goals in this quarter. Egan pops it over the top. Teammate had to wait for it. Smith been outstanding. Great pass. His disposal has been good as well. Pym inside half forward. Punch from behind Tatsaris. Here goes Mitchell. Skirts around them. Off the left boot. Michael Mitchell won't make the distance. Honeybun keeps front position. Hand pass a bit blind. Cousins on all fours. Eccleston back there. And he gets the hand pass away to Wigney.
Wigney, and they've combined pretty well, those two Footscray defenders, Eccleston and Wigney, there to get the Bulldogs out of trouble. Wigney's kick, well, it was effective, I guess, that he was under a little bit of pressure and he's found touch. Half-back flank, half-forward flank for Richmond. Bulldogs 7 points in front. Boundary throw-in with Cousins and Stockdale. Stockdale at the back. Cousins does it pretty well to take front position. Knight's trying to get away. Stephen Wallace's kick is smothered. Opportunity for Egan, hard up against the boundary line. Tries to keep the ball into play, but he wasn't going to get away anyway because Tony McGuinness was standing between him and the goals. Still, we'll have a boundary throw in, half-forward flank for Richmond. Stockdale now, this time, gets his left hand to the ball, and Knights is interfered with. Will he receive the free kick? Yes, Matthew Knights. Left foot kick in towards centre half forward. Looking for the leading player up there in James. James onto the right foot. Snapshot for goal. Might bounce through. It does. Great goal, Bomber James.
Hi, how you going? Oh, Lords, yeah.
Looks like another good score on the way.
Oh, yeah. Unless it rains over there.
Oh, well, it looks pretty dry at the moment. Like you, eh?
Yeah.
Can I buy you a drink? Hey, remember that Aussie test opener who was always getting mixed up in the runs? Mr. Wood. That's right. Wood.
Yeah. Graham Wood.
Stephen James.
So the goal by Stephen James makes it a point the difference. Footscray in front. Lee beats Cousins. McGuinness, no distance with his kick. Young man, Kellett, played a handful of games last year in the seniors. McGuinness's kick to full forward. Campbell almost sticky fingers. Nixon sees it out. Yes, Kellett played 3 games last year. And Campbell has had a fair bit of the ball tonight at full forward, but has disappointed, kicking 1 goal 2 and 1 out of bounds. Coleman wins a good tap. Lambert has it taken off him by Kellett. Comes to Terry Wallace. Snap kick, edge of the goal square, but Campbell slipped, allowing the defender Lees in. Frangalis backs Lees up, finds Ryan. And Richmond switch play towards the outer side. Centre wing duel between Eccleston and Mitchell. Eccleston's done pretty well. Mitchell just lacking a bit of touch this early after missing so much of last year. Eccleston into Atkins. Atkins short pass. Any one of them could have taken it. Adrian Campbell's got it. At 2.5 kicks to goal from there. Frangalis and McGuinness. Pym. And the ball goes out for a throw-in.
Don, there really wasn't enough urgency in Campbell's play there, was there?
I agree with you wholeheartedly, Ian, because he could have moved the ball down there. They only had small men on the full forward line, Footscray. When you've got that, you've just got to get it down quickly. I agree wholeheartedly.
Waitman gets the ball out to Lambert, and the Tigers are on the run. Lambert's kicking towards the centre and puts that player under pressure. I think it was Stockdale. Foster coming down from centre half back, kicks the Bulldogs into attack. It's a raffle, but Terry Wallace finishes up with it, and he's inside 50. He's pet distance.
And there's not one Footscray player. There is somebody on the full forward line now, but Richmond really do that well, blocking up that full back line for themselves team.
Wallace's kick just falls short, and that's his only downfall over a, well, what would be considered an illustrious career, Terry Wallace. Great ball gatherer, but just his kicking lets him down that little bit. Lees kicks it in towards the back pocket. Mark taken by Smith. Play-ons is the umpire. Smith fiddling with it underneath. Lees tries to tap it on. Now play-ons is the umpire. As the advantage is paid to the Tigers, Ryan finishes up with it. Ryan's kick up towards centre wing, really not to the advantage of his team. Was 2 big Footscray defenders there, and infringing against Wigney was Stockdale, and Wigney will take the free kick for Footscray.
Goes very wide, out of bounds on the full. Far too wide for a kick which wasn't a full distance kick. The free quickly taken by Hamilton. Terry Wallace goes back. Hogg. Wigney. Oh, that was a good tackle by Lambert. Egan. Look at the endeavour by players here.
He was a bit overconfident on that occasion, Wigney Drew. He really did sum up the situation. He thought, no, I can take this guy on. Just a little bit too much confidence in his own ability. It just did not come off, as Footscray about to make a change with Williams to come on. We'll just wait to see who he is replacing.
There's Brunner, new player. Crowd yelled holding the ball. Wasn't paid that way, and it's run out of bounds.
And it looks like O'Keefe, who has had a quiet night. Richard Nixon's done a good job on him in the back pocket, and he is being replaced by Mark Williams.
Ruck contest. Lee gets his fist to the ball, goes out towards Steve Wallace. Thompson interferes with him, and the umpire sees it that way. The free kick will go to Steve Wallace. Been a good player for Footscray over the last, 6 or 7 years of Steve Wallace. He gets the kick out wide to Hawkins. Hawkins looking to do something with the ball, as he always does. Hand pass goes towards Kellett, back to Hawkins.
Oh,
Hawkins goes for goal, and that is class.
Do you believe Diane?
Somebody just shot my kids.
Do you believe her story?
How could anyone have aimed a pistol at 3 little children
Get some help!
and pulled the trigger 5 times?
You don't believe me, do you?
Mother or murderer?
She had a gun.
I didn't do it.
Over 2 nights in February, a mystery unfolds.
Karen saw the killer.
Farrah Fawcett with Ryan O'Neal and Emmy winner John Shea.
Who shot you?
Small Sacrifices, a true story, soon on 7.
Superb play by Doug Hawkins. And the lead out to 8 points in favour of Footscray. Just under 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Dispossessed is Kellett. Comes to Steve Wallace. Back to Hawkins. Captain Magnificent up to Terry Wallace. Hardly wasted a possession tonight, Doug Hawkins. Out wide to Brunner. On the bounce, Campbell, good gather. He's caught by Lees, puts it down on the tackle. Play on, says the umpire. Chance for Campbell again. He paddles back to Terry Wallace. He's pretty tough in these situations. Atkins, a good hand pass back. Steve Wallace puts it wide. Comes out to Kellett. Kellett over the top with the hand pass. For Hawkins, no, he leaves it. Pot shot for goal by Hogg. The whistle's gone.
I don't like this rule. I really don't like this new rule. This is shepherding 3 metres away. I don't like that rule at all. For years it's been 5 metres. He put his hands out to shepherd. This is a wrong rule. They brought it in for those charging, but that was a legitimate shepherd.
He loves his team, Dougie Hawkins, doesn't he? Still remonstrating with the umpire. Play goes on. In towards the centre. Hoggs bumped off the ball. Lambert trying hard for the Tigers. Just fumbles. Good tackle by Eccleston. It was fair and it was terrific stuff. The ball finishes with Smith. Smith's left foot kick up towards the half-forward area. Mark taken by Egan. He plays on. Open spaces for the Tigers. Knights will go within 50. Can he get his foot to the ball? Yes, the kick is across the face of goal. No mark taken. What was Mitchell flying high for? Interfering with James. Nichols looking for a free kick and the boundary umpire will throw it in.
I think Mitchell was trying to break the world high jump and long jump record in the one leap.
Well, I'm sure James would be upset with that. Cousins over the top. Brunner gets his foot to the ball. He's adjusting pretty well, is John Brunner from Yarrawonga. The mark has been taken outside 50 metres by Stockdale. And my knowledge of his kicking ability would be nil, but Stockdale kicks the ball long to the goal square. Honeybun comes out in front. Can't mark. Punched away by Hunter. Kellett swoops on the ball and does it pretty well too, Nigel Kellett. Left foot kick by that player, goes back in towards the centre. There's no one home for Footscray, and Mark Lee takes a safe chest mark. Too far out to score is Mark Lee. Forward line pretty crowded, so he thumps it high into the forward pocket area. Honeybun, good punch away there by the Footscray defence. Lambert's a chance, he swoops on the ball, tries to get onto the left foot. Now he does, but a good tackle by McGuinness, who swooped on him unknown to Craig Lambert. Now a free kick picked out of it, and it looks as though it's going to maybe McGuinness on the bottom of the pack, and it's against Craig Lambert. Tony McGuinness, the little short chip, goes out wide to Foster. Foster looking to play on, but there was a player there on the mark, was Pym. Foster's kick now towards centre wing. Good punch away by Ryan over the top of Coleman. So we'll have a boundary throw in on centre wing out of side.
Footscray leading by 8 points. Under 2.5 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. Lee taps down. Smith, good hand pass away to Trent Nichols. Kick by Nichols inside half forward. Neither team seem to be able to get the ball on the forward line. Mitchell some chance here. He goes head on with the tackle, but Harrington bounced off him. Harrington again. Gets the hand pass up the ground, and Footscray out of trouble.
Well done, Harrington.
Hand pass over the top to Kellett, who's been prominent since he came on. Caught by Thompson from behind, didn't see him coming. Williams, Kellett. Here's a chance. Hunter, 60 metres from goal on the boundary line. He drives it long to the goal square, not a soul there. And dropping back in defence is Pym.
Pym now transfers play to the outer side. Richmond could take it all the way up here. Lee's short pass finds Lambert. He's got a loose player in the centre, but he elects to go wide towards half forward. Egan in front of Wigney. Can Egan gather the bouncing ball? Wigney, bigger, stronger and more desperate. Wigney sees it over the boundary line. Bit of an underrated player, I think, that Shane Wigney. Perhaps lacks a little bit of class, but he's a very, very honest trier. Stuart Wigney, rather. Mark Lee doing the ruck work against Cousins. The ball comes to the ground. Knights can't break away from the Atkins tackle. McGuinness on the bottom of it. Mitchell Crude. Umpire sees a free kick, should be rewarded by McGuinness's efforts, so he'll take it at half back for Footscray. Tony McGuinness, fairly composed. Left foot kick goes over 50 metres up towards half forward. The ball at the back. Coleman the first to recover. Ryan's there. Coleman's good play. Taps it onto the advantage of Wallace. Pym in there for Richmond. Ball comes out the back. The hand pass comes to Coleman. Tries to get it out to Williams. Williams just on the ground. Gets the hand pass out now. Here's an opportunity for Hogg. Hogg goes for goal and puts it through. No, hits the post. Goal! Right the first time.
Well, Matthew Hogg lucky with that goal then, because it was Campbell in the goal square by himself, and he could have got a quick handball away, as we see 48 playing 34, Footscray's favour. But nonetheless, the goal stands, and Footscray take the reward. And Hogg playing well, start off very well in the back line, now playing down in the forward line.
Goal scoring unusual for Matthew Hogg. 21 league games for just 2 goals. Under 30 seconds left. Here's Hogg. Hand pass to McGuinness. Might be time for another goal for Footscray if they can move it further forward. But a good punch down by Richmond. Ball jolted out of Smith's hands by Brunner. Pym. Atkins. Quickly off to Cousins. Long kick. Time running out. They're within goal scoring distance. Now they're not. Oh, that's beautifully played there by Greg Hamilton. Across the ground he goes. Pym. Wider to Ryan. And there's the siren for three-quarter time here at VFL Park. A low-scoring quarter. And at three-quarter time, Footscray 6 goals, 12-48. Richmond 5-4-34. Low scoring third quarter. Footscray added 2 goals 3 to Richmond's 1 goal 2, and the Breakers 14 points at the last change. A reminder that tonight's match is also being played for the .05 Challenge Cup, both teams being sponsored by the Transport Accident Commission. Some highlights coming up on the Australian Television Network. On Sunday, February the 25th, the thrills and chills of motor racing with the Shell Ultra Touring Car Championship live from Amaroo Park. They're all there: Brock, Johnson, Seaton, Richards, Longhurst. Find out who's going to be the best as they take their lives into their own hands, only on 7. On Sunday, March the 4th, the season of speed continues with the mind-numbing action of NASCAR, live from the Calder Park Thunderdome. The world's finest drivers in their Pontiacs, Chevrolets, Ford Thunderbirds and Buicks against the tough Australians and their machines. Coming soon to 7 Sport. And on Sunday, March the 11th, the Giants of Sport are back with the Kmart Aussie Basketball Classic. The country's top teams battle it out in their home state to earn the right to play in the grand final in Sydney later in the month. Basketball fever starts all over again, only on 7. Down on the boundary line, here's Michael Roberts and Peter McKenna.
In the Tiger camp, Kevin Bartlett's still pretty confident with his troops. He wants the players to create space, especially on this big ground, and those players tagging must tighten up, especially across the centre line. Unfortunate news for Alan McKellar. He was tagging Doug Hawkins for most of the match, and he's done a groin, and a bad groin it is. And if you think the players are finding it hard, the boundary umpire had to be replaced that quarter because he was vomiting. Peter, what about Footscray?
Very impressive by Terry Wheeler. Just completely words of encouragement the whole time. He asked all the players to support each other, run hard, tackle hard, harass for the rest of the game, and kick long to the forward line.
We've just had the attendance figures here tonight. Well, I underestimated it by a long way. 16,968, nearly 17,000 for the opening football match of the season. That's a great figure.
That's a terrific crowd, Drew, and
I suppose ever come into better conditions, Ian. Sorry to cut across you, but in autumn is balmy nights. They're fantastic for football.
Last quarter about to start here between Footscray and Richmond, and going into the last term, the Bulldogs have the advantage. Lee gets the left hand of the ball. It's sharked by McGuinness. McGuinness's left foot kick up towards half forward. Punch away, goes out wide towards centre wing. Overrunning it was Eccleston. At the back was Hogg, who kicked a magnificent goal at the end of the third term, and he's battling on, but he can't do much with the football. And it's Tim Powell there for Richmond. Matthew Knight's in the foreground, and the fans pretty excited about this first match. And there's a lot at stake for Richmond and Footscray, both looking for improvement on the ladder this season. So a first up showing is very important. Hogg takes the mark at half back for Footscray. He gets the hand pass off to Foster. Foster's kick towards centre half forward. Anyone home there for Footscray. Coleman nearly takes a one grabber. Fights on well, gathers the ball, kicks it up towards full forward. Campbell out in front, gets his hands on the ball, nearly dispossessed by Lees. Campbell doing pretty well at ground level, gets it out towards Wallace. Wallace taps it on to the advantage of Kellett. Over the top was Hamilton, unfairly, says the umpire, and the free kick to be taken by Nigel Kellett.
He's done well since coming on. 2 hand passes. That hand pass to Doug Hawkins was classical. For Hawkins' goal in the third quarter.
Man on the mark about 51 metres from goal, so it's really test him for distance. He doesn't go for it. Short passes to Brunner. He's easily spoiled by Pym. Pym off the left boot. Diving mark. Attempted mark. Oh, well, that's clever. He came up with the ball almost, Hunter. And goes in for a third dip at it. The umpire says, it's my ball. Give it to me. I'll ball it up.
Might be an indication of the way the game is going. 3 Footscray players at the fall of that ball, 1 Richmond.
Yes, Richmond hit the lead by a point for a brief moment in the first quarter, but Footscray have led at every change. The margin is 14 points. There's Steve Wallace. And 14 points can, of course, be made up in 1 quarter of football, but the 3-goal swing, you'd have to wonder about Richmond because they've managed just 5 goals for the night.
Richard Cousins there in the picture with Mark Lee. They've done the ruck work for their respective sides for most of the night. Chance there for Hamilton. Oh, dispossessed by Atkins. Gets the ball away, overrunning it. Richmond now very, very desperate. Frangalis, Smith in there. The hand pass goes over the top. Here's an opportunity for Williams. He's crashed to the ground by Hamilton. And the free kick will be taken by the Footscray player, Mark Williams, ex-Carlton. And a fairly handy pickup there for Footscray. Utility player. Kicks it up towards full forward. Brunner runs onto it. Gets the hand pass over to Eccleston. How many goals has he kicked? Here's an opportunity. It's punched away by Lambert into the pocket. Lambert tries to see the ball safely over the line, and he does so in the back pocket for Richmond. Only a matter of 15 or 20 metres around from the Footscray goal.
Eccleston, 1 goal in 59 matches.
Fair enough. He got a bit excited there and kicked it in short. The ball kicked out by Frangalis. Steve Wallace is underneath it. Can't mark, but he goes after it again. Gets it off to Eccleston. Eccleston's kick a little too high. He thought he looked for Terry Wallace, but it floated over that player's head. Mark taken by Knights. Knights in the centre half-back position. Chips it out wide. Now Pym getting back onto the right foot. Again, a short kick. It finishes up there with Hamilton. Hamilton at half-back. Kicks it wide, looking out there for Stockdale. He can't mark it. Goes over the top to Hunter. Hunter's kick across his body, out wide. No mark taken. Running onto it now was James, but it's kicked off the ground by Hogg. What a desperado he is, Matthew Hogg. Now the ball finishes up with Frangalis. Somehow gets onto the left foot, kicks it out wide to Nichols. Nichols has sweeping hand pass up towards Waitman. Waitman waits for it to bounce, gets around onto the right foot. Dale Waitman looking for the short pass. It's on. Egan punched away by Tatsaris. Footscray defence under pressure. Tatsaris, desperado. Lambert at the back. Can he get the hand pass out? Yes, it comes out towards Waitman. Well tackled, but he shrugs the Wallace tackle. Off to Egan. 20 metres out. Philip Egan goes bang and misses to the right.
Desperate play on that occasion by Tatsaris at centre half back. He had to go for the ball, and he really did risk his body. It was great play. He was outnumbered.
Pretty hard to get a free kick for a good tackle. Tim Harrington, he's done the rounds. Collingwood, North Melbourne, Brunswick and the VFA. Long kick towards the outer side, 60 metres. Mark Lee almost. Had a good third quarter, Mark Lee. Oh, here's a mighty kick out of the pack for a goal by Stephen James.
At Carlton and United, We normally like to show you how to enjoy our products in our commercials. But we realize there are times when you'd rather enjoy someone else's. Like the pleasure of driving today's modern cars. All we ask is that you realize that drinking and driving can be a dangerous combination. Please think before you drink.
Stephen James, well, he's had his 30 seconds of glory here at VFL Park. The Tigers trail by 7 points. Lee gets the tap out, but it bounces back into the hands of Terry Wallace. Kick up towards half forward. Mark Williams can't mark. Here's Callett for Footscray. Kick across his body up towards full forward. Lee's running towards it. Campbell off the ground. He'll kick a goal. Yes! Quick reply by the Bulldog full forward. He kicks his second, and Footscray bounce back. They lead by 13 points.
I've been impressed with the way that Campbell uses his body. Earlier in the earlier in this quarter, the fourth quarter, he used his body well to get Lees out of position. He ran onto that very, very nicely. I'm impressed with him at centre, at the full forward position. Good battle between the two players. But if he's not winning the ball, he's certainly putting his body in, and there's not too many full forwards that go after the ball as he is tonight.
2 goals, 1 apiece, inside a minute there. Lee wins the tap, comes down to Steve Wallace, who gets the kick out of the centre. Frangalis, number 9. Overrun by Kellett, comes to Frangalis. Pokes the kick up towards centre wing, and a diving mark by the goal kicker, James. Wide to Lambert. Lambert's kick for Mark Lee, and takes the mark. Oh, what a shocker. Kicked it straight across the ground. Mitchell up. Knights off to Mitchell. Mitchell dodges and weaves, approaches 40 metres, kicks for goal, but he was off balance when he let it go, out of bounds on the foot.
He did pretty well to get himself clear there. Mitchell, Harrington kicks it in for Footscray, close to the line. Is the ball going to stay in? Well, that bounce was freakish. Finishes with Mitchell. Slick hand pass, Knights. Knights' short pass is good. Waitman into goal. Waitman misses to the right. A shocking kick by the acting captain. And he stands there very disappointed with his hands on his hips, the runner having a bit of a chat to Dale Waitman.
I think he should have steadied, Ian. He was well within kicking distance.
Well, try to steer it, Don, I suppose. If you thump it, you've got some chance. Harrington's kick out towards half-back. Here's an opportunity for Smith. Inside 50 metres. Smith goes bang and puts it through.
Tom Selleck, Steve Guttenberg, Ted Danson. 3 incredibly eligible men hoping to meet the perfect woman.
That's a baby.
It's a baby.
Of course it's a baby.
I want to see the way you 3 big guys handle this one.
The smash hit comedy of the decade.
Will somebody please tell me what the hell is going on around here?
Figure it out for yourself.
On television for the first time.
You do realize she did a doodle.
Doodle, yes, doodle.
Toyota presents
Good night, sweetheart.
3 Men and a Baby. Sunday night on 7.
Ball up in the centre. Well, a while ago, James became the first double goal scorer. Then in the space of a couple of minutes, Campbell and Smith have joined him. Richmond still in this with a big chance after trailing virtually all night. James loses control here, goes in for a second go. Off the ground. Foster's there. Nichols kept it going for Richmond. Wigney. The pressure still right on as it was right from the start. Lambert running out of room. What a hand pass. Off to Nichols. Not too good off the left hand, and it went out of bounds.
Well, he probably should have kicked it because the player he was trying to give the hand pass to was well covered.
Bit of excitement in the crowd on the far side. I think it was a bit of a dust-up which distracted a lot of the patrons out there. Ball flipped out by Hawkins. All Richmond here. Oh, he took a long time, Knights, and the ball's gone out of play. Boundary throw in. Tigers half forward flank. They trail by 7 points midway through the final term.
Lee in front, Cousins from behind. Knights gets a tap over. Oh, dashing through is Powell. Onto the right foot. No, he hand passes. Mitchell ducking underneath everybody. Goes with the right foot. The long kick into the pocket. Honeybun can't mark. Harrington taps it over the line. And the safety of the boundary line sought after desperately there by the Bulldog defender. It's about 35 metres around from the Richmond goal. And a goal here will make it just 1 point the difference. Honeybun down to Lambert. Lambert shoots for goal. Egan! That's a definite mark. And Egan will put the Tigers within a point with less than 13 minutes left in this match.
Well, from this distance, he really shouldn't make it. A great mark from over the back by Philip Egan. And right on the line, only accuracy the problem.
Egan goals.
At Goldmark Jewelers, it's Valentine's Day. Just listen to your heart, then look at the prices. Goldmark's huge range of chains and bracelets will make any heart shine when they're all half price. Buy a silver or gold chain or bracelet and receive a heart free. Only while stocks last, only at Goldmark, Australia's largest chain of specialist jewelers.
When your heart is set on it, Goldmark, we're just around the corner.
54 to 53. Footscray just in front. Lee wins in the middle. Out of defence by Hunter. Bouncing ball. Pym. Lambert has time to fumble and give the hand pass wide. Knights, oh, great play into Smith. Smith steers it up to Honeybun. Not this time. And the ball taken out of play by Tsatsaris.
And Coleman off the ground. Now, he was a focal point up forward. He may have drifted out in the third quarter. Charles has come on. A big job for Charles. And just pick up where he's going into the ruck. So that's good.
Young Charles played one game last year. He's got plenty of height. It'll be interesting to see how he goes. But he's been given, what, about 12 minutes in a game which is up for grabs.
And Cousins centre half forward. But they've got big raps on Charles.
On Richmond's forward line. They're trailing by a point. Powell. Lambert ran out of room but stayed in, but the kick was disappointing. That's about where McGuinness kicked a magnificent goal earlier on, but Lambert couldn't do the same.
If he'd have popped that one through, I think Don Scott would have even jumped through the roof. Steve Wallace in the back pocket for Footscray. Bulldogs now under pressure. Wallace's kick's not a bad one. Outside 50 metres, out towards half-back. The punch away by the Richmond players. Stockdale can't break away. Knights somehow gets it out to the advantage of Smith. Smith on the left foot. A little chip in towards centre-half forward. A big punch by Tatsaris. Great play. Eccleston down there for Footscray. Atkins gets it out to McGuinness. McGuinness finds space. One bounce by Tony McGuinness up towards centre wing. He's caught, but he gets his kick away to the advantage of Williams. Williams out there in front of Nixon, and Williams gets past the big lumbering Richmond defender. Williams' kick up towards centre-half forward. Who's home for Footscray? Kellett bumps his opposition player away from the ball. Frangala slips over. Can he get the ball away? Yes, he does. Out the back to Lees. Lee shrugs the tackle. Gets the ball out towards Hamilton. Hamilton's left foot kick towards centre wing. No one home for the Tigers. Hunter marks and plays on. Kicks it in short. Opportunity now for Brunner. Can he cover himself in glory? The kick off the side of his boot. And the ex-Yarrawonga star kicks it out of bounds on the full free kick to Richmond.
That was not good play by Brunner. Campbell was on a lead. He could have passed it around. He did really sum up the situation. Made the wrong choice by going long.
Cramp in the background there to Greg Hamilton. Meanwhile, Richmond move it forward up towards centre wing. All Footscray here, and Steve Wallace drops an easy mark. Just gets the hand pass away to Hunter, who's been prominent in the last few minutes. His hand pass further afield. Kellett. Campbell, what a climb!
He's done well, Drew. If he's not winning the ball, he's really making it hard. He's putting them under a lot of duress, those Richmond backmen. He's worked particularly well.
Well, Adrian Campbell has been disappointing with his kicking for goal. He's kicked 2 for the night. And if he can make it a hat-trick, he'll be the leading goal scorer for the night and will give Footscray a bit of breathing space. They lead at the moment by a point. Kick from 49 metres. Won't make it. Almost to Cousins. Taken off the hands by Frangalis. Now Richmond have a chance to rebound. Mitchell, good mark at half-back flank.
Michael Thompson warming up for Richmond on the boundary line.
He hasn't paid the mark.
He's asked for the boundary. That was a mark.
Well, I would have thought so too. Well, A couple of unusual decisions. Knight's on the bottom of the pack there for Richmond.
That might be the
That
evener
could be the square up. Yes, Don, I think you've read it pretty well there. Matthew Knight's at half-back to take the free kick for Richmond. Kicks the ball in towards the centre. High flyers.
Good handball.
Beautiful slick hands out to Hunter. Hunter's short pass is effective. Mark to Kellett. Kellett now onto the left, now onto the right. He'll get caught. No, he won't. He gets his kick away. Up towards full forward. Will it bounce through? No, just to the wrong side of the goal post and through from behind. Footscray lead by 2 points.
Well, Simon Atkins fed out a brilliant hand pass. His hand passing was a feature of his game last year, and actually, come Brownlow time, there were a few quiet tips for him. Didn't do any
should
good.
handball. Maybe he should get his kick a little bit more. You know, he does handball a lot when he can get a kick, but that was a brilliant handball.
Lees looks out there for Pym, and maybe the umpire deciding there that one of the Footscray players ran straight at Chris Pym, and I would suggest the free kick more so than the mark. The kick goes wide toward close to the boundary line. Now it goes over, and Powell a little frustrated further field from where the kick came, and the crowd looking pretty keen there. It's been a terrific contest from the start right up to this stage where we've got 9 minutes left. Footscray lead by 2 points. The kick further afield goes up towards the Richmond half-forward area. Waitman taps it over the top. It's still close to the line. Wallace gets the hand pass away. Hobbs well tackled. And what's happened here? There's a bit
behind
of a
play. It was against Waitman.
Waitman behind play, yes. And the free kick will go to the Footscray player. It suggested it'd probably be Steve Wallace. He's out of picture at the moment. There he is now. And Wallace will take the free kick for Footscray. The short pass, and it's taken by Hawkins, who's been out of the play a fair bit. Wasn't cited much in the third term, but Dougie Hawkins, the captain. Short kick. Wallace takes the mark, and Terry Wallace would be on centre wing on the outer side. So Footscray now will go into their attacking half. This kick by Wallace dropping in short, and reading it pretty well was Cousins. Coming down from centre half forward, takes the mark on his chest. He's still 2 kicks from goal, Richard Cousins. He transfers play to the centre half forward position. High flyers wanted, but it's unopposed mark to Adrian Campbell, and he'll kick from about 45, maybe a little closer, maybe 42 metres from goal. So let's see what the young man from Terrelgan can do with this one. Adrian Campbell. Got Teddy Whitten's number on his back. Magnificent drop punt kick. The Footscray boys in the goal square like it. It's a goal.
This is Loch Ness. There's a local legend that the Loch Ness Monster will surface for a glass of Bell's Scotch. They say she'll come up for Bell. It's been blended with their finest single malt whiskies for 150 years. She takes it with too much water anyway.
So the margin out to 8 points in favour of Footscray, but certainly not all over yet. 7 3/4 minutes remaining. Lambert stumbling, getting the hand pass away. Smith helping it afield. Waitman's there. Met by Foster. Charging up the
Good
ground,
play.
Peter Foster. Off to Terry Wallace. Puts the kick wide. Charging at this one is Williams. The hand pass slid in. Brunner keeps it low. Lee's in front this time. Brunner follows up. Down he goes, the 25-year-old recruit. Ball goes out of play. The umpire calls for the throw-in.
Isn't it an inspirational play in a tight situation that the game is in now to see a Peter Foster, or it was Peter Foster at centre half-back attacking the ball? It really does lift the opposition. You can see there, obviously, Coleman very badly injured, got the ice on the shoulder, so consequently that's why he had to go off.
Cousins, second bite at it. Terry Wallace. Tapped out by Frangalis. Atkins, this time the hand pass is on the bounce. Steve Wallace, left footer. Space here. Mark on the forward line to Williams. And a goal by Mark Williams, you would think might nearly wrap it up. 8 points is the margin now. Had to stand his ground with Des Ryan bearing down. And the man on the mark is about 25 to 30 metres from goal. ex-Carlton player. Mark Williams, right through the middle. Well, that is a bit of a break now. 9-13 to 8 goals 5. It's 22 scoring shots to 13. The margin 14 points as it was at three-quarter time.
Well, he's a very handy player. I suppose that's the best way that you can describe Mark Williams. I don't think I've seen him play a bad game when he's been there. Not a starring game, but he's always handy, and he was in the right place at the right time that occasion, and a good goal at a critical moment of the game. And he has contributed since he has come on.
It's a good kick there by Mark Williams. The ball bounced back in the centre. A tap out there by Charles, but Richmond go into attack up towards half forward. The bouncing ball. Tap further afield by Smith. He overruns it, now goes back after it again. Held there by Wigney, but Smith has the ball underneath him. Umpire decides that there should be a bounce to take place.
Justin Charles has got the last 2 hit-outs in the centre bounce. He should have been on earlier against Mark Lee.
The bounce favours Lambert. Can he break clear? Does pretty well. Craig Lambert gets the ball back to Powell. Powell looking to handball, gives it to Mitchell. He's under pressure. Back to Powell. Now Powell's got some space. The kick over the top of the left shoulder, back in towards centre half forward, but it's Charles doing pretty well. Gets the kick out towards centre wing. It bounces underneath Thompson to the advantage of Kellett. He's scragged, but the advantage will be paid. Williams has the ball at centre half forward. He'll go into goal. Mark Williams, he could kick his second. No. Hooks the ball right across the face, and it's out of bounds about 15 to 20 metres around from the Footscray goal. And Mark Williams would be a little disappointed with that as he shakes his head.
Karen about to come on, and Tim Powell going off for Richmond, so they're pulling changes, trying to get back into this game, the Richmond side.
Lee works his way in front of Cousins, comes to Frangalis, out of the back pocket, up towards half-back flank. The ball takes a break and bounces away from Lambert. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the match.
Been a great last quarter. Richmond clawing themselves back within a point. Now Footscray is starting to go away with the game.
And they've kept